Welcome to Coding with T, and I'm your host, Tiffany.
Hey Codies, quick disclaimer. From this point on, I'll be dropping videos every Monday and Wednesday at 3:30 Central Time, so stay tuned. In the last video, we learned more about classes, and we also worked with fields, methods, and constructors. So today in this video, we will use the keyword static. The static keyword comes in handy if we want to access a field without using the object of the class. For example, in the last video, we accessed the staff class by creating a staff object and using that object to call the set hours worked method. In this program, I'm going to do a walkthrough of how to access non-static fields and methods versus static fields and methods. Again, I'm commenting as I go. It's not mandatory, but it's good practice. I'm creating my fields and methods public for simplicity reasons. Doing it this way allows me to bypass creating setters and getters, but I would never suggest writing code this way. As I stated in the last video, set your fields private unless you have a good reason not to. Let's create a public string and name it greeting1 and initialize it to hello Codies. On the next line, I'm going to create a public void method and I'm going to call it display greeting. Inside the curly brace, I'm going to type system.out.println. Inside of the parentheses, I'm going to type a string, method message. Outside of the quotes, I'm going to use the concatenating sign, greeting1, and I'm going to make sure it's closed with a semicolon. Now it's time to create our static field and method. I'm going to set it public and use the keyword static, string. I'm going to name it greeting2. This time I'm going to initialize it to good evening. My method will be public static void display greeting2. Inside of the curly braces, I'm going to system.out.println. Inside of the parentheses, I'm going to use the quotes and type a string, method message. Outside of the quotes, I'm going to use the concatenating sign, which is the plus sign, along with greeting2. Now let's jump back to our main Java class. We're going to access our fields and methods by calling or invoking them in our main Java class. But first, I'm going to print a border just to separate the two static and non-static methods and fields. It's not mandatory. It just makes it easier to read once it's displayed to the screen. Now I'm just commenting as I go, but below my comment, I'm going to create a myClass object. I'm going to name it obj1, that's short for object1. Then I'm going to type equal new myClass. Then on the next line, I'm going to create a print statement using system.out.println. Inside of the parentheses, I'm going to open up a pair of quotes, and then I'm going to type the string field. Outside of those quotes, I'm going to use the plus sign, which is the concatenating sign, along with obj1, the dot operator, and I'm going to access the greeting1 field. On line 16, I'm going to make the call to the display greeting method. To do this, you type obj1 dot display greeting. And on the side of the parentheses, you make sure it's closed with a semicolon. Now let's look at our code to make sure everything is operating correctly under the hood. Let's run our program. I created a non-static method and field title block. According to this line, this was successful. And on the next line, I called the display greeting method by using obj1 dot display greeting. This method prints out the string method message and the greeting1. As you can see in our output, everything was accessed correctly. Now it's time to access our static and method field. I'm going to copy and paste this line to the title block that I've created here. And I'm also going to follow the same layout that I did before. But this time I don't have to create an object of my class. So because creating this field using the static keyword, I use the class name, in this case my class, the dot operator, then greeting2. Then I'm going to call the display greeting2 method. To do this, I type my class dot display greeting2. Let's run our program. I don't particularly like the way the output looks. It looked pretty jam-packed, so I'm going to insert a new line character. Okay, that's better. Now let's look at our code. On line 23, the string field is displayed along with the myClass.greeting2 field. On line 25, I called the display greeting2 method using myClass.display greeting2 method. And everything checks out. Codies, don't hesitate to code along with me. If you do not have a JVM installed onto your machine, I'll drop a tutorial link in the description below, and that should help you get started. Furthermore, if I move too fast during a video, don't be hesitant to pause it when needed. Coding along with me helps with remembering when, how, and where to apply these steps. I'm going to stop this video here, but do me a favor. If this video helped you out, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Leave me a comment and share the video to those that are looking to learn the basic steps to coding in Java. Thanks for watching.